What's going on, you guys? It is Madison and James on the Alchemy Fit podcast. We're actually going to be turning this one into kind of a mini series, is what we were talking about, which is going to be wellness and wrestling. So we've talked before a few times about, WWE and stuff like that. And, James's long experience with it, my short experience of it, but both of us having a very good fan base of it. And so we're going to just do a little mini series where we talk a little bit about wrestling and wellness. And then, of course, we'll have other aspects of our page where we talk about, of course, nutrition, macros, exercise, strength training, and things like that. And so continuing on from the last time we were talking wrestling, we were making our backlash predictions. And so I know James is going to be very excited to hear this from me, but he actually got every single one of his predictions right and was very happy for that. The only one I missed was the one that we were separate on, which was Seth and Braun Breaker. And so technically I only had one, but no. We're going to go ahead and just kind of dive right into it. So I was able to watch Backlash. You were not.
I was able to watch
Well, you figured out you could do the free hour.
Yeah, the free hour because you texted
later
me while I was
into it.
watching it. So I got to see the last 11 minutes of the Trick Williams Sami Zayn match. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I think at that point when I saw the last portion of it, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to watch it. And since we saw Trick Williams and Sami Zayn in Lubbock,
Yeah, we did.
here in Lubbock, I'm kind of over the feud. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, just let's get this over with and stuff. And then my television changed back to normal programming. I didn't get to see the rest of it. Madison did, of course, but I was able to keep up with a lot of. I have Bleacher Report, so it always tells me and then Threads. It was like, okay, this is what's happening and so forth.
And I was giving him play-by-plays pretty much.
Play-by-play for the most part, which
or at least what I feel like you should have known.
Yeah, she was hitting the high notes for a lot of that, but the predictions were, I felt, pretty accurate. I was pretty happy though, I guess, with the Asuka EO one.
That was my favorite
That just
match.
was my hunch.
Hands down.
Yeah.
That was my absolute favorite match of the whole event. Because of course starts off with Seth and Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And so that one I was kind of like looking forward to because I had never seen Braun wrestle before, since before he got injured. Because I became more of a WWE fan after he was injured. And so I was kind of looking forward to that. And then ever since you've been calling Seth Rollins Seth Wick, I was like, all right, let's see what he's going to do. And of course, he came out in the all black and everything. And I would say it was a good match. It really showcased the endurance of Braun Breaker, though, because they went very hard like the whole time. Like both of them gave it their all. You could clearly see that.
Yeah.
You could just see that Braun was always able to give a little bit more and give a little bit more and give a little bit more. And then, of course, things change when the Vision gets involved. So, like Logan Paul, Austin Theory, they come out, kind of mess and bait Seth. And then Seth goes, takes a chair to him, like beats him up a little bit, comes back into the ring, gets speared by Braun, and that's all she wrote.
I did see the part where I guess Braun did like the super spear
he
went, and he's fast. He's incredibly fast with his spear, and I saw the ending of it.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, and that should do it. But what I was saying on Threads was that the Io Sky Oscar match, along with the Braun and Seth match, were basically co-match of the night.
Yeah, they were excellent.
A flip coin of which one which was better. The Oscar Io didn't shock me that it was good because of just the chemistry that they've had with each other for years. When I called the Oscar thing where I felt that like it could have been goodbye, the reason I felt that way is just perhaps in my experience of being a wrestling fan and seeing the small little details that they're trying to say.
Oh.
And obviously with the things going on with releases and departures and contract talks, I just got that inkling of, maybe this is it. Because there's really, with that story, there's nothing else to tell.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to tell. Asuka has been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
Going on 10 years, give or take. So it felt,
like
going into it, like it was all right. this is it, or she's going to take a sabbatical or
Right.
something. And I know as of right now, she's allegedly, with per the reports from the dirt sheets, that she's semi-retired or something like
Yeah.
that.
That's kind of what it's looking like.
Which, that's she's had a great career. I felt.
Well, and she's hit all the accolades too.
Yes.
She's held titles, she's had belts, she's held gold many times, and she's been a great competitor.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, as you like what you said, I really liked what you touched on and said, as being a wrestling fan, you're able to kind of know when it's a wrestler's time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's how I look at athletes. That's how I look at
Yeah.
football players, basketball players, soccer, volleyball. Like that's how I see them all, is because of being, of course, and around it for so long, you can just kind of tell
Yeah.
when someone's just moving a little differently, when they're presenting themselves differently, when their character's kind of shifted into something more retired, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so it's knowing that every person has their time. And so no, I thought that was great because they gave it their all. Like it was such a good match.
Yeah.
It made it to where when they hugged and Asuka embraced Io at the end, like I got a little teary eyed like for a second because you could just see
Wow.
it because Asuka was crying so hard.
Yeah.
She was crying
I didn't see
so
that.
hard because she grabs Io and she's just her shoulders are going. She is like tears are flowing down her face. And Io's looking at her and so she starts crying. And they both just kind of know and be
Yeah.
like, there was so much emotion, there was so much history, there was so much rivalry and love that was in that feud. They did such a good job at continuing that from, Raw and SmackDown and WrestleMania, like continue building that up to where it hit its peak at just the right time. And yeah, it was a great match to watch because
Hmm.
you could just tell that Io kind of like was like, okay, like this is my turn now. Like she's gonna give this to me. Like it just felt so like she was surprised by it, but she was also honored in the same way.
Yeah.
And so truly, it was beautiful to me. I thought it was great. But I agree with you about the Sammy Trick Williams one because when they wrestled here, they didn't face each other.
Yeah, they did.
I thought it was Trick and Damien versus Sammy
Trick Williams
and
versus Sammy.
Finn.
It was both. It was Trick versus Sammy, because at that point in time, Little Yachty hadn't gotten involved. Sammy was not U.S. champ yet, and they were
Yeah,
still beefing with each other on SmackDown. They were going back and forth. Sammy was at this point not quite as whiny, and what I found interesting while watching it at the house show here a few months ago was just, well, obviously we talked about the reaction that Trick Williams got, that he was incredibly, it
oh
was a
my gosh,
positive
yeah,
reaction.
he was welcomed with open arms.
Sammy's reaction though was predominantly positive, but he still was getting like, okay, we've seen it.
Yeah, I'll
And
be honest, I didn't really know who Sami Zayn was. We talked about it
yeah,
in the podcast before of saying like when he came out, I was very much like, who is this? And then I kind of had to go looking for him.
yeah.
He wasn't somebody that I had really heard a whole lot about beforehand.
Hmm.
And this was also a time when I wasn't watching SmackDown. I was only watching
There you
Raw.
go. Yeah,
So I really was like, I don't know what's going on here.
yeah.
But no, I completely agree with you. I think that feud is tired out. It should have been done at Mania. And the whole gingerbread thing is just so weird now. And it should just be moved on from because I don't know. I feel like it's just making Sami Zayn look extremely desperate.
Oh, that's, yeah. I mean,
And I
desperate.
know it's
You
what
know,
they're kind of going for, but I'm like, what's the point of it though? Like, I'm all for somebody being hungry and want an opportunity, but making him look just downright like a try hard and the way you can tell it's kind of affecting his face when he gets booed by these fans. He's kind of like, what did I do wrong? So
and
I just don't know
yeah,
where they're going with it.
I think with that, because I've been saying for the past few months, off camera with friends, that to me he's a heel. He's been a heel for the past few months, and they said, "Well, he hasn't turned yet officially." It's like, y'all don't get it. We don't. He's acting what you just said. When you're acting that way, at least as a fan, I'm seeing a performer or at least their character act that way. It's like they're being a heel right now, and I'll get to it on Roman here in a little bit, but I've just considered Sammy a heel for the past few months.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm a Trick Williams fan. I'm not gonna call myself a mark just yet for him, but with the gingerbread man stuff, okay. The one thing that I found hilarious about it, because I was waiting for it, was when the dumb little thing character, he's in the coffin, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, if this does not result in him just doing the Undertaker rise like a Michael Myers, or if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with it,
Yep.
then I'm going to be incredibly
Right.
disappointed.
No, I was thinking the same. I was like, that's an open casket. He better be popping out.
And he did exactly what I wanted. He popped out, he did the slow head turn, and that right there was like, okay, that saved it for me because I was hating it. I was texting Madison, I believe, at the same
Yeah, he was
time.
not a
I
fan.
was not a fan of it, but just to see that visual, I was like, okay, you gave me what I want.
Yeah.
But with that being said, they'll probably have another SmackDown match. Trick will move on. Sammy will move on, and that's just where I hope they go. Sammy's
Yeah.
going to be
I
a
hope so
heel.
too.
He sounds like him and Cody are still going to have, and that could be
Yeah.
interesting too, depending,
Yeah. I
because
think,
Sammy is a heel. Sammy's a good heel, I feel.
yeah, I think
When
if he
he,
owns it, it'll get really good.
yeah, he owns it, which his tenure there I felt has been really good, especially the past few years when he was a member of the Bloodline. Because you didn't watch when he was a member of the Bloodline.
Oh, I went down the rabbit
Oh, you
hole of
did?
that though. Yeah, so I know all about
He
Usi
did.
and
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
Well,
I know all
yeah.
about that.
He that was to me some of his best work because of just how he was able to still be a heel character, but also like do the reversal of what he's doing right now,
Yeah.
doing the contra positive and like I'm going to be so annoying, but I'm going to become endearing at the same point. Whereas now the
Yeah.
back, it's like I'm the good guy. Why are you booing me? And then like me, I'm like, okay, just
Yeah.
shut up.
Because has a good
So
duality. He
yeah, so
does.
it's working.
Yeah, what he's doing is clearly
It's
working.
working.
So
So um, but with that being said, what did you think of the Danhausen match? I didn't get to watch it. I saw a lot of the highlights. It looked hilarious.
it was
Um,
hilarious. I'm pretty sure that I didn't take like a single drink or a bite of anything that whole match
yeah,
because I just didn't want to accidentally like choke or anything because the way that Danhausen just maneuvers the crowd and does the ring and also the way that Miz and Kit Wilson sell it, like
yeah,
that feud is the funniest thing in WWE to me right now.
yeah.
Like
I'd say so.
absolutely, because Danhausen is just like what? Like
Yeah,
he's just there, and the way that he's able to just keep us on our feet because like we thought maybe Punk was going to be a partner or
yeah,
maybe some he was going to pull like an actual wrestler, and then he gets Minihausen's,
yeah.
and it was so funny because you just see Danhausen kind of look and go, huh, okay, let's do it, and he just goes with it, and then you see Miz and Kit Wilson just kind of being like what? Like, we're actually going to wrestle? And then Minihausen just starts kicking Kit Wilson's butt. And it's so funny because they were just having, you could tell they're having so much fun with it.
Yeah.
And then you see to where Kit throws Minihausen back into the cloning chamber and then it starts working again. And then all these and five other Minihausens walk
I
out and
saw
just
that part
ambush him.
on
And it was
Threads.
hilarious because then they go over to the announcing table and they start biting them. They start biting the announcers and just like kind of pulling their hair and like messing with it. Like they're completely bullying just like the reporters and like the fans and Miz and Kit. Like they're doing all these things. Meanwhile, Danhausen's just kind of like, what happened? Because he got rocked at some point by Miz. And so he's trying to figure it out. And then finally, Miz pulls out a fire extinguisher
I did see that
and
part
he
on
was like, let's
Threads.
do this. And then, of course, he gets it all over himself and all over Kit. And
Yeah.
they were just so incredibly funny. And the way they sold it and the way that The Miz, like, finished off, like, what I feel like people don't see enough of, except for probably, like, diehard real wrestling fans, is he's a good wrestler.
Who?
Not Kit, wasn't Danhausen.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
good. He's got moves. He can go. And
Hmm.
so he was able to really pull off these moves. And I think it shocks the audience when they see that because he's such a comical character
Yeah.
and he's so behind the scenes and just kind of a menace that they all forget that no, he's a wrestler first.
Yeah.
Like that was his original intent with this. And so when he does like all these moves and he's pinning them, you're just like, oh my gosh, I forget he can really
Yeah.
wrestle.
Yeah.
And so it was just so much fun. It was absolutely hilarious. And the way he has them exit is like they all don't know how he disappears. And so then he disappeared. And so the mini Housens are like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? And then Danhausen runs back. He's like, no, guys, this way. And
Oh,
they
that's
run off. It
hilarious
was
when he does
so
that.
funny.
You just see him and he just will run off, and it's a great bit. I know that it's they're members of the podcast internet wrestling community, internet IWC, who are they don't like it, and it's like going back to the gingerbread man. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
taste for everything.
Yeah.
I do think that Danhausen works because one, he can wrestle.
Yeah.
Two, the way that his character is just going around, it
Yeah.
really reminds me a lot of going to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where each character serves a purpose,
Right.
and his character does serve that purpose of like, okay, his curses are real. He possesses that. He can go. So I don't think he's going to be someone that we'll see every week, but
Right.
he's not going to wrestle every week, which is smart
Yeah.
because it makes him wrestling mean more.
Yeah.
And he's an attraction. He really is an attraction.
Yes, he
And
is.
growing up in wrestling, like Andre the Giant back in the day was an attraction
Yeah.
because you didn't see him every day.
Right.
Hogan was an attraction, Savage, and so forth, in the 80s at least, and the 70s and so forth. But I'm really curious to see what Danhausen, what else he's gonna do going
Yeah.
forward, especially into Clash in Milan. Is it Milan or Italy?
Italy.
Italy, yeah, that's coming up. How he'll be a part of that event.
And who he curses
Because
over
I
there.
probably won't watch that one
And who
either.
he curses over there. Well, and I've been wondering about that because I wonder, they always say like Netflix internationally. So I wonder if because they'll be international over in Italy, that because we'll be over here in the US, that they'll make it available to Netflix on for us. Unless they
They
only have
won't.
the ESPN contract.
They
But
the international ones is Netflix only to my understanding, but I think we would have to get a VPN to access that. So basically, pirate it. And I've never been the biggest pirater. Because a lot of them have gotten removed. So you'll probably get to watch it, and it
yeah.
will be in Italy, so it'll be at a different time. So it won't be at night. So
Yeah,
probably like
it'll
two or
be,
three.
it said it was gonna be at 3.
Okay.
So
Which when them doing those events, I've sometimes they play out real good. It's like, oh,
yeah.
it's 1 p.m. I got a Saturday free. I can watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
That'll
I
be interesting to
do.
see.
You have you seen a lot of the foreign events when they're out overseas?
No, the only one I ever saw was that little clip of CM Punk beating Finn Balor in
Yeah.
Ireland, and that's what kind of started their feud. So I
Hmm.
saw a little bit of that, and then I think maybe like a year or so ago when like Becky was there
Yeah.
last or something.
They're a good
But
audience. They're very like this past Raw, and we'll get to Raw here shortly, but a crowd on TV
which they really are, because even if you see like when
can
the
kill
NFL
an
goes
event.
over there, and like when other sports
My
like from
ads
the US
tonight.
go over there, like they freak out. And they're great fans because you can
Yeah,
see that they're really excited because they know they don't get access to this a lot of the time like we do. And so I feel like they really make it more of a cultural experience.
yeah,
So I'm actually really excited to see that. But
yeah.
heck, we might even do like a watch party or something and kind of film like our reactions to certain matches and stuff like that. And so
We'd
y'all
have,
can kind of see how we are when we watch wrestling, because we are
yeah,
two very different
we'd
people when
have
we
to be
watch
very
wrestling.
careful with that one because they're coming down on content creators right now. Yeah, you're probably onto us right now, WWE, but we'll find a way. I know we're gonna be skip into the main event because I don't remember the other
Well, I think it
card.
was only just
There's 5 matches. I
5.
mean,
So
Jacob and Roman.
It was Seth and Braun, and then we had oh my goodness. And then we had Sammy and Trick, then we
Yeah,
had Io and Asuka.
Danhausen.
And then yeah, Danhausen, Miz
So
and Kit, and then
yeah,
main event. So yeah,
so the
we
main
covered it
event,
all.
from what I read, pretty much Jacob controlled the match, and then Roman
Yeah.
just
Well, and that's kind of what I was
cheated to
telling.
win, as Eddie Guerrero used
Yes.
to say.
And I agree because I was watching that match and I was telling you, I was like, Jacob is handling Roman
Yeah,
like easily. And you could see it on Roman's face every time that he expected Jacob to be down for the count and Jacob was just up on his feet. Roman was in complete disbelief. And then of course, the only thing I don't like is now, and we even saw it on Raw, I don't like the overuse of the Tong and Death Grip, because I'm like, it's, if you're gonna finish him with it, finish it. Like
I
if
get you.
that's gonna be your and all last move to knock him out, don't be doing it 7 times. Then what's the point? Then to me,
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
feel
see
like
what
it's a
you're
very
saying.
good grip. Because if what it is grabbing the Adam's apple, getting the windpipe, why are you doing that 7 times? Because to me, it just looked overplayed to where the significance of that
Yeah,
move is not as severe. where I'm like, dude, fine, just at that point, just kick him in the balls. I don't know, because that's like
Yeah,
just you just get out of it. Like, I'm sorry, you're the OTC and you can't get out of somebody just tinily grabbing your Adam's apple.
yeah.
You're telling me you can't when you've got what, probably 4 inches on Jacob, and you've got a reach. But I know there's a
You're
whole.
bringing logic and rationality
Oh
into
my
this,
gosh,
and this is
I just mean
professional
with
wrestling.
that to where I'm like,
But I understand what you're saying
yes,
because the Tongan Death Grip back in the 1990s, it was used by a wrestler by the name of Haku, aka me.
hmm
And it was very, at that point in WCW, a very like lethal move. It was hyped, brought down a lot of people, so forth, and it disappeared. There has been, to my knowledge, no other wrestler that has used that as a finish, but they brought it back, and I understand why they brought it back.
yeah,
But what you're
absolutely,
saying to me makes a lot of sense. If you're going to make it that lethal, that's why I wanted Jacob to win. It's like if
yeah,
you really truly want to make the
yeah.
impact, then he needs to beat him with it.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's what you finish him with. You don't
Finish him
just
with
do
it.
it because you're pissed off
You know,
and you go at him. And then I was also like, flip the coin,
because it
Roman,
kills it.
do it back. I was like, why wouldn't you do it?
No,
I was like, why wouldn't you not?
he's got to get that
He's
Superman
gotta
punch in. You know,
he's gotta get locked and loaded, as they call it. But no, it was
I'm being a menace right now.
he's hating on Roman right now.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no, that just got me to where I was like, because if you're using the same ones, because almost like when I saw AJ Lee do like, what is it, hers, the Black Widow, that she
yeah.
does that grip, that is a finisher.
Oh yeah.
That made Becky tap out twice.
Yeah.
And so that's what I expected the Tongan Death Grip to be. So when he did it, I was like, okay, this match about to be over. Here goes Jacob, we're done. No, and then they fight some more. He does it again. They do a little bit more. He comes back and does it again. Does it 3 more
Yeah.
times even after the match is over. And I'm like, if you're gonna end him with it, just do it. I'm sorry, quit all the teasing and just get to it.
Yeah.
Because he did that on Raw. He did it all the way to where he got Roman to go unconscious. And then he was like, okay.
What
And
the
everybody freaked out. But he didn't do it 7, 8 times in a match.
I think what there was a missed opportunity before that match and even after the match. I know we're sort of now we're gonna Roman won, but if we as we go into
Yeah,
Raw,
by exposing the turnbuckle and getting a ref
yes,
involved.
he got the ref involved. He
But
did
he
cheat to
won.
win, but he won. Very heel way of booking him. Very,
Yep.
very heel way of winning, despite the fact that
Yep.
he's a face. Well, treated like one. We'll go that route.
He's a
But
baby heel.
he's a tweener. Like he really his presentation is that of a tweener. I think that he's coming out with aura. He changed the music. He's back to his evil music, if you will, the way that I look at the when you change a theme like that. He had his heroic theme that he had for 2 years because he was on the chase, so he came off as
Which I guess I need to go back and look, because when you've said
yeah,
that he's changed his
he
music,
changed his music.
I didn't notice. I was like, what do you mean? But I'm so new to this.
Yeah.
I'm only used to hearing what he's been playing lately.
It's one of the small intricacies that can happen when you're utilizing music, especially in Roman's case. His theme that he used for 4 years during his run was the one he's using now. He was on top, and it was more the tone of it was definitely like, oh, okay, he's the boss, he's the final boss,
Yeah.
not Dwayne's final boss. But then when he loses at WrestleMania 40 to Cody, he disappears for a little bit. He comes back, and it's a remixed version. It sounds more heroic, and it's actually a banger. I really liked it. I use it in my fantasy football post during in season because it's when I win the championships and stuff, of course. But
Gotcha.
I'm digressing.
Okay.
So when he went back to his theme, his old theme at WrestleMania, that tipped me off to okay, you're tweaking something.
Where he's kind of making a prediction like, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
back on this rising top
yeah.
again.
I'm the big the big dog, and I'm about to be on top again. So shows up to Raw. He's pissed. Where's my belt? He's acting like a heel, and he's acting like
Yes,
a
he
very
is.
annoying heel.
He's whiny. All heels are whiny.
Whiny, and Jacob, he ain't there yet, so of course we're gonna have to wait on him to show up. The Usos are there, just they're finally there because sometimes yeah we're here, and then they disappear. So what'd you think of Raw in totality?
Raw, because I actually watched it last night.
Yeah,
So watching it, to me, I completely understood what you said when you were telling me, you were like, just watch for Roman. You're like, watch how he is, watch how he's kind of like, no, I want we might have to fire Jacob because, he was getting involved
Yeah.
with the refs, getting involved, and he's like, not until he acknowledges me first. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, oh, okay. And to me, I was in my head,
He's
I was like,
proven
what
Punk
a
right.
heel thing to say. Oh, absolutely.
You know?
And so everything Punk said about him was true. And I mean, the easiest way to see that is give him a championship and see what they do with it, which is exactly what he's doing. And so him coming in and doing that, I thought was interesting. And then the rest of Raw, where it came to like the Judgment Day, when it was going to be, Raquel and was it Roxanne?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Roxanne Perez. I'm getting it. And Brie and Paige, that was going to be interesting. But again, it's not my favorite thing when the only thing you have to say against somebody is, oh, it's because you're older. I'm like, okay. And they're like, it's your Eras tour. Like, it's, your nostalgia tour going.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, get more creative. If you're going to talk smack, get more creative. But I'm used to very witty people like
Yeah.
CM Punk
Yes.
that immediately come back at somebody and have some, or John Cena that come back with very much intention. But I've also noticed with heels, they really do have to like, to me, I feel like they keep the insults so playground friendly and so PG, which I understand.
Yeah.
But I've noticed just with heels, I'm like, that's what makes them so annoying. And that's what makes them such a heel is
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing these baby backyard freaking insults. Like this is
You're short.
ridiculous. And
Stuff like that.
yes, and so they did that, and then of course, then they start going at it with each other, and then of course Liv gets involved. But what I did like was Brie calling attention to Roxanne, and she was like, "Yeah, I do remember meeting you when you were really little,
Yeah.
and I wanted you to do more. I wanted you to do better than just be a little backup for Liv."
Yeah.
And that is what, like the second or third person to say that to Roxanne since she's been
Yeah.
back, because
Yeah.
Finn told her that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's kind of making me be like, I need something to go here. I need her to turn against Liv. Like, I need
And
her
it's
to either
coming.
do it and I'm excited for it
Yeah.
and I'm itching for it because I'm really hoping for it because the way that Finn was like, kind of like, okay. And he's like my favorite right now because
Yeah.
he's just being a total menace.
The
He's
way he
doing
took out
whatever he
JD
wants.
was
That
hilarious
was,
because he
it
just
made me laugh.
boom.
Have you seen the edits that Finn has made to
I did
that?
see one.
He did one to Queen of We Will Rock You, and then he did one to Holla Back Girl like Gwen Stefani.
I
And
had
he
seen
was
that
like,
one.
these are so funny. And
That was probably
because it's that
funny.
intro where it goes boom, 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 and it was just him smacking him. So those were hilarious. And I really like that even Dominic after was like, I gotta go compete for gold, something you wouldn't know anything about. And
Yeah.
that made me crack up because if there's anybody I truly enjoy seeing like have fear on his face is Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Because he just has it like, well, no. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Because he's just, oh, he's such a little skis.
Oh yeah.
But so seeing him get like actually like, what do you mean? Like, no, I have to go do something. Reminds me of the skits that I watched when it was like him and AJ Styles. And AJ was like, are you
Okay.
cleared yet?
Yeah.
Are you cleared yet? How scared he was of like AJ always being around every corner. And so that made me laugh really hard because I was like,
I thought he was gonna
he's
lose.
good at that.
I thought he was gonna lose that night because I've
He
seen
was
that build up.
close.
He was, and I thought that El Grande Americano, the OG, was gonna get the victory, get the belt, go to Mexico to the AAA event that's coming up to make it even more bigger. Dominic pulls off the win.
Well, because as soon as we saw Grande Americano's men come out, I knew it was done. I was like, Dom's gonna win.
Yeah,
now because he's gonna get involved with OG and they're gonna throw the match.
I wasn't too happy with that. I'm not following AAA as much. I'm gonna try to watch that event because I've enjoyed AAA the times I've seen it.
Yeah, honestly, I would too.
So I can watch that on YouTube, which is great. So we'll see what happens with Dominic going forward. I do think that we are seeing the slow, pretty much the destruction of the Judgment Day from within.
I agree because they just don't seem like a big of a deal anymore. Like they really don't because they're not talked about as much anymore. Because it was always about Dom and Liv, and then who they were going to go up against, and then like the whole stuff with Rhea and all that. And now I feel like so much of it has died down that I feel like everybody's kind of trying to pick up the pieces from Mania and kind of rebuild to what they could be. Because I mean, Finn and Dom, that's pretty much finished, but I don't think it's quite finished. But I feel like there's so many different ways they could go, but I feel like everybody's kind of on an even playing field right now. But on SmackDown, I feel like it's a completely different story. Stuff is starting to really like come to
Smack
a head on SmackDown.
SmackDown really is, and that'll be tomorrow night from you know what they're carrying. I think SmackDown right now has all the momentum.
I completely
I
agree.
think with because like with Jacob, he's still on SmackDown,
Yeah, he's been on
and
both. Well, so have the Usos
Usos,
because they
which
keep going back and forth with him.
the way that Raw ended, and I know we're skipping over some stuff, but I don't get the acknowledgement ceremony. If you're trying to make him, if they really are trying to go back to the OG bloodline where Roman is going to be a dick, then okay, then this is working. I guess I'm over it with Roman. It's like, okay, you got your belt back.
Yeah.
You because with the feud with Punk, he felt okay. He had that aura to him. It was a big fight clash, great match,
Yeah,
as we
because you could
talked
just
about.
feel
You could feel it.
the like audience, the power behind both
Yeah,
of those names and how it was so significant.
and it
Like
was
I thought about
significant.
that even watching Raw. I was like, I miss Punk and Roman.
And
I
it,
was like, I
yeah,
really do. That feud was so good. Like it made me excited to tune in every week because I was like, oh no, what are they going to say? Because the way they both talked to each other was just excellent because they both knew what to say to piss each other off. They
yeah.
both knew how to combat with each other verbally.
Because now, when Jacob finally arrives, he's angry, and then Jay tries to
And
go
beats
and,
up Jay.
hey Jay, hey man, you don't know what you're doing, whatever. And then this is where I started laughing because I enjoyed it. Jacob beat the crap out
Yeah,
and
I have
said,
all
"All
three
right,
of them.
bam, bam, bam," and just in the back, and I'm like thinking, "Oh, is Triple H gonna step in or something,
I
whatever?"
thought the same thing.
And
I
he
was like,
beats the
I
crap out of him.
was like, he's right there.
Goes out. Jimmy's like, "Okay, whatever," and then he beats the crap out of Jimmy. Roman's staring in the ring just with his belt, kind of okay, and then we're back at it. He dished out everything he could to Jacob with a
Hit him with a
chair.
chair like 5
Oh yeah.
times.
Then Jacob gets up. He's a monster. Takes out Roman again with a death grip.
Does it about 3 more
Three
times.
more times. Usos finally come out.
Throw him on the
Throw him on the
table.
table. Puts him through the table, which was cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Because Jacob's insanely strong. Like I like seeing it. I'm all for it. I'm Team Jacob. Like I was in
yeah.
Twilight and I am right now. But so I will always be Team Jacob. But no, because yeah, you saw it with just his feud with Drew. Like Jacob's endurance is insane. He can
yeah.
take hits and keep on coming. He can fall and get thrown around and keep on coming. He can take some brutal things like to the back, to the head, to the stomach, and keep going. And he's very athletic.
That's
Dude can
what.
do backflips off the top ropes. He can do different turns,
Yeah.
different things. Like he's got such an arsenal. I'm like, give him gold, and I want to see what he does with it.
I agree. I think that if he gets the title, because what I think is going to happen, Clash of Italy, we're going to get a Bloodline Rules match. So basically a no DQ match. Anything goes. Because he took out the Usos, took out Roman. Solo, what's the big dude's name?
Tamatanga?
Yeah, we got Tama and you got the tall dude, Tama Tonga,
Tala.
Tala. They're still, I think, going to get involved somehow.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
got Royce Keys who's still lingering. That's where I feel they're going to head to. And I
Yeah.
think it's the only route because of the chair being used. You got this death grip that's how I guess to be fantasy booker here. What they should have done a few weeks ago was I would have had Jacob in some matches, use the death grip on someone, take out,
Yeah.
reintroduce the audience
Yes.
to it because I think that they jumped the gun, assuming the whole
Yeah.
wrestling audience just knows about the Tongan death grip. No, they don't. That move
Yeah.
hasn't been used in nearly over 25 years on such a platform like Raw or SmackDown. Reintroduce the audience to that move.
Yeah.
Have Jacob take out some big time players with that move, show the just how deadly it is, quote unquote. The next few weeks, I wouldn't mind seeing him take out those Jimmy and Jacob, like destroy him to get them out of the way.
Yeah.
I think that would tell a good story of like, okay,
Absolutely.
Roman, I just took out your two cousins here who were
Your backup,
your backup.
basically.
They're carrying your luggage. They're back to being your trying to keep it PG here, but
Your dogs.
yeah, we'll go that.
Or
We'll
what
use
CM Punk called them, his young boys.
his young boys. We'll use there we go. We'll keep it that his young boys. I'd like to see that. Do I think it's going to happen? There's a probability of
I
it
think there's a good chance
that
of
he
it
takes him out.
because that could open a lot of doors
It really
because
could.
I do like the relationship that Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys have
Yeah.
because they're both big dudes and they're big players. And so that would be kind of interesting to see if Royce Keys was like, huh, I might want a shot at that. And like doing something like that. And
Somewhere down the
I feel like
line
you
with
could really establish that for later
yeah.
on because I think this could be something that's really interesting. And I just, like I said, I think that everything is so diluted right now and
It's the
everything is,
WrestleMania hangover.
yes, absolutely. And so I think they're all trying to pick up the pieces, which is totally fair. But yeah, I'm ready to see some different people go after different opportunities and different titles because I know, they strapped the Rockets to Jay a little bit ago and that he held that title at one point. I'd like to see it for Jimmy at some point too and kind of see what he can do and just see some different opportunities and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot that can potentially happen, but I also think there's a lot that can potentially just not happen and really bum us out. But
Yeah.
that's also the point of entertainment and wrestling. Stuff's not always going to go your way and predict how you
Yeah,
want.
absolutely.
But I think it's starting to kind of like pick up its feet again a little bit and kind of, all right, let's see what's going to happen. Like with Penta and
Yeah.
Rusev and
Yeah, that could be interesting to see. Just you know, there has been a certain cast of characters
mhm.
that they have been focusing on for the past month and a half, and you really just see them. Yeah, there's been an introduction to Sol Ruka. She's been introduced. She
who did a great match with EO.
EO, which
Great match.
I like the way that ended because it showed okay, EO got the, and I was hoping it in that way because you know it's still showing that yeah, Sol, you were something in NXT, but now you're on the main roster. Now you got EO Sky to deal with. Now you got Becky Lynch. Now you got Jade. You're on the main roster. So now you're dealing with a whole new ball game. And I don't think it hurt her to lose.
No,
It
not at
just it
all.
tells a
It's
story.
yeah, all it's gonna do is keep getting her practice in. It's gonna keep
Yes.
getting these fresh
You got
wounds
to
and
take that
stuff like
L
that because you do, and
to
it was
realize what you're
great
doing with.
because even Corey Graves said it great. He was like, it just shows a testament to how smart Io Sky is in matches because
Oh
she
yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
She saw that Soul Snatcher go and she goes, nope.
Yeah.
It goes to show how much of a different IQ there is when you go from NXT to the main roster, that it's a
Oh yeah.
totally different game.
Very
And
good
they
point.
have different, mileage under them. And so I love seeing that. I love seeing that Io embraced her afterwards because you saw that at
That
the
was
end,
good.
even Soul looked at her kind of like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Oh, she saw me coming. That's new.
Yeah.
And she was able to kind of be amazed by Io and kind of have that. And I think that was good for Io as she's going into more of this like senpai spot to where she's more the mentor now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be something where Soul could learn a whole lot from her. She could learn a lot from a lot of them going on. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of potential there, just like there still is for Javon Evans. I think there's going to be great things for that kid.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Page too. He's starting
I
to
like Ethan
really
Page.
get on my damn nerves. But
He's a
anybody
good old
that does
fashioned heel.
this, I'm like, absolutely not. Get out.
Yeah,
But
his little theme
he's
song is a
doing
little
great
catchy.
though. He's great at it. But so there's a whole lot of ways that they can start going with this. And I
Yeah.
like seeing the Street Profits come into it. I like seeing them beefing with the Vision and see what's going on. But I think one of my favorite parts that genuinely made me laugh on Raw was the post interview with Austin Theory and Logan Paul.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
going to that car, and you see Maxine Dupree in the car.
Oh, yeah.
You see her in there, but then she's talking to him, and he goes, "Do you want to ride?" Like he doesn't answer her question. She goes, I'm good, thank you. And I was like, where were you going with that? I was like, because Maxine's in the car. Like, okay. And so
Yeah.
it was just a way of him to do it. And I went, Austin, that was actually hilarious. So
Unintentionally hilarious.
it made me kind of like him a little bit because I can't stand Logan Paul. And I completely agree with Joe Hendry. I don't think you should, fire him because he's great at
Yeah.
entertainment for bringing in that type of audience and bringing in that type of energy to it. Because I don't think anybody gets boos as loud as him or Dominic Mysterio. But it let me see a little bit more of Austin Theory because I know that you had told me about him. And I kind of gone down a little bit of lore, but it was just him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been getting on my nerves a little bit more lately because I'm like, what do you even do? You call yourself the Pressure, but like, I hear you with this fake faux scarf that you wear all the time. looking like you are still one of those shirtless models that works in Hollister, but needs to have something to cover up just, his just nipping era. And so he gets on my nerves on that aspect, but I've wanted to see what he can just do
Yeah,
because to
that's
me, he seems like a lackey for everybody. And he seems like he has so much more that he can offer because when he is in matches, he does really well. He's
yeah,
very
without
athletic,
question.
he's super dynamic. And I'm just like, but what do you do? What are you going to bring? Are you going to bring being a womanizer? Are you going to bring, being a flirt to everybody? Like, what are you going to bring besides this weird, scrangly goatee that needs to be shaved?
I think that's a lot of great points there. Austin Theory definitely has the talent to put on some really good matches. His character, I know in NXT when I was, because I've been following him since he was in
Mm-hmm.
Evolve. Um, he was a bit of a dumbass. You could tell he was like, okay, he would portray, at least to me, a bit of a dummy. I'm all, he used to have a saying, and it was just real.
Because he's just such a gym bro now.
Yeah, it's basically what he was. He was portraying
Oh,
like just a big gym bro with just, oh, what did he used to say? Because it just sounded so like, oh, dude, like shut up. He's
because
like,
that's what I feel like when he says
you
the
know,
pressure, and I'm like, shut your mouth.
and that's stuff like that.
You
I
sound like you're advertising for a car wash. Like, quit.
I think that if they lean more into with perhaps what they got brewing with him and Dupree, I think Dupree's sort of getting a bit of a makeover if she's going to be
Yeah.
associated with a Vision. Um, Being associated with Paul Heyman isn't a bad thing.
No, not at all. And
Off
especially
screen and
having a
on screen.
female in the vision,
Yeah,
that would
if
be interesting.
and she, in my opinion, Dupree can, she's an up and comer. She's learning. I would be curious to see what they can do with that if they
Hmm.
actually make her an intriguing character with Theory, because that may be what Theory needs. He needs that,
Yeah.
someone from Heyman, aside from Heyman, that female presence that
Right.
if he's like just, I don't know, some dumb ladies man or something. But I'm with Seth and then the Street Profits and Hendry. They're all interacting. That's different.
Yeah.
It's different, and which is good. You want
I
to see
like
some
it.
interactions that are different. I would love to see Montez Ford and Seth Rollins in a match. I
Yeah.
think that
That,
that
I feel like that's brewing.
could. Those two, I feel, are probably some of the most athletic wrestlers on the planet. Um, I know that's not necessarily a hot take, especially with Seth, but with Montez Ford, the guy can really, as you saw, I think last week he did that flip over the top rope.
Yeah.
He's always been feels like he's on the cusp of just going like on
Yeah.
solo tour, going into singles, but he's always stayed tag team.
Yeah.
And I think right now he is in the position once again having the spotlight where, hey, maybe him and Dawkins do need to split up. Maybe not turn on each other or anything like
Yeah.
that.
But
Go the
just, yeah.
you
But
know
just
Marty
split
Jannetty,
up.
Shawn Michaels route, but just showcase him.
Yeah.
Showcase him in a singles match against Seth. Maybe do it at Clash at Italy just to showcase because they both clearly have beef with each other.
Yeah.
Let them settle it in the ring. Let's see what they can
Absolutely.
got. And I think you can have a show stealer right there. You can
Oh, that
evolve
would be
Montez
great.
Ford. Henry's going to get there because Seth Rollins at this point in his career, he if you're doing a program with Seth, if you're in a storyline with him, that's not a bad thing.
Not at
I
all.
I I will down this hill, but I think Seth Rollins is the best member of the Shield. I think that he has the ability to make others better,
Yeah.
more so than I say Roman and Moxley, the other two. I guess that's a knock, but that's just I guess I am turning into a big Seth Rollins fan of what he
Yeah.
can do for himself and just the industry in general.
Yeah,
So
because I want to see more of
yeah,
what he can do as well. Because I know he's
yeah,
been out for a while, and so I'd honestly, like we even talked about, really like to see him go up against Roman, because they still
yeah,
have that beef with each other. They still have that friction of you're in my way, and have
yeah.
that sort of, oh, we have a lot of history. Do we want to ever dig this up again? Like, there's always a back and forth where it's like they could or they couldn't, and so I'd like to see it one day. I don't know if it will happen,
I think it's
but
coming, but they're gonna probably save that for Mania, maybe
which would be
SummerSlam.
great. I think that would SummerSlam or Mania. I
Appropriate.
think would
It
be
would be
really cool.
appropriate for WrestleMania
That would be
over
excellent.
in Saudi if it still happens over there, but TBD.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to mention though, we're segueing, we're doing something different with wrestling, but I told you beforehand that I saw AEW last night.
Yeah, so we covered Backlash, we covered Raw, and now
Yeah.
we're going to cover that you dove
Yes.
into AEW.
Yeah, I dove into AEW last night. I have HBO Max. It's usually on TNT, TBS. And when I feel like I'm in a lull, we've talked about with how the WrestleMania hangover.
Yeah.
And if I'm feeling a lull in a product in professional wrestling, then maybe I should watch something else to see what the other channel's doing with the other guys. Because back in the day, you had the WWE and you had WCW, you had ECW. And now in this era, yeah, you have choices now. And it's good to have choices. It really is. And so I watched AEW last night. I hadn't watched AEW in a while. It's not something I watch. I've maybe seen 4 episodes. That's on
Okay.
one hand
Yeah.
of the show. Follow it for the most part. But I liked what I saw. It was different from the WWE. The production was different. The wrestling was good. I enjoyed the wrestling. I saw a guy by the name of Will Ospreay. I know who he is, but I've never seen one of his matches. He can go. He's a really interesting wrestler. Um,
Yeah, I'd even
Darby
be interested to
Allin.
check him out.
Darby Allin took on one of the a New Japan guy. Forgot his name. It was a good match, but the presentation in the wrestling was different from what we're seeing on Raw and SmackDown, and that's not a bad thing. One of
Yeah.
the things with the internet wrestling community, and we talked about this before we recorded, is tribalism.
They're a fickle bunch.
Very fickle bunch. We're all guilty of it to a point. She's an Eagles fan. I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles.
You had to bring that up.
I'm a Seahawks fan. So
Hey, we're both Bird fans, all right?
Bird fans, yeah.
Well, now this year I gotta be another Bird fan. I gotta be a Cardinals fan.
Cardinals fan into maybe even a Seahawks fan because
I could do that only. Not even a Seahawks fan. I would
For-
be a Jadarian Price
for
fan.
context, she is a big University of Notre Dame.
We've touched on
football
it a
fan.
bit. I'm a huge Notre Dame football
And
fan.
I'm a Seahawks fan. We drafted Jadarian Price, who was the guy I wanted complete. I stayed up all night watching that draft so I can see him get picked.
He's an amazing running back.
Great running back. I think he's I think he's just as good as Jeremiah Love. That's just my opinion. That is going to be something I'm really looking forward to watch. I know we're taking into going into digressing a lot here, but it's that's why I brought up the example. She may be an Eagles fan, I may be a Seahawks fan, but we're not like.
You can even say because you're a Texas Tech fan and I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Exactly. We're not.
We have a healthy rivalry in
Yes.
between it to where if our teams play or something, we joke at each other.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm like, oh, we can
Yeah.
not do business together anymore. I can't even believe you would like them. That's ridiculous. Even if it's what I think.
But you were on Threads and you were telling me what you were seeing about like something with news with CM Punk and just the reactions that
the
people,
ugliness that I see, it was just like barbaric.
It's nuts because at the end of the day, everybody, pro wrestling is pro wrestling. It's entertainment. Calm yourselves down.
Yeah, I want to be like, it's not the only thing in life. Like,
Yeah.
go get another hobby.
Go touch some grass.
Like, yeah, go outside.
Go
Get a
touch
drink
some
of water.
I know that we've shared some frustrations with the booking, but at the end of the day,
it's a business.
It's a business.
And it's not our business.
It's not our business. We're going to go along for the ride, enjoy it, even though we may not enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to watch AEW to see what they're doing. And I thought it was good. Really never seen Darby Allin, who's their heavyweight champion. He wrestled. He's got a very interesting look.
You said it's on HBO Max?
It's on HBO Max, Wednesdays,
I
2
was
hours.
like, it's live?
Yes,
okay.
It's live. So
can you watch like on Raw and SmackDown? Can you watch previous episodes?
I think you can.
Okay, because I'd like to go. I got HBO Max. I'll go check it out. Because wasn't Cody and CM Punk on that at one point?
Yes, they were. So they got some great stars. They've had some really, Cody was one of the founders of it. And then he
That's
left.
what I thought.
Punk was there for a little bit. He came back originally to AEW after his long-term sabbatical. Had a very interesting ending. If you know, you know.
Okay, now I gotta go look that up.
We'll talk about that off air.
Okay.
But tonight, it's Thursday night, and I'm gonna continue to watch something different other than WWE. TNA wrestling, I believe I can watch on YouTube TV on AMC. I just want.
And then Tuesdays is NXT too.
NXT. I gotta find the right channel because I got YouTube TV, so sometimes it doesn't show till the day after and so forth.
That's
But I
right.
really
Mhm.
want to look at what the other ball games in town
Yeah,
is, because I've complained on threads about the WWE, about TKO mainly. TKO mainly is my biggest beef with them.
which I think is a lot of
A
people
lot of
right
people
now
right
because they
now,
were screaming it at
yeah.
Mania.
It's suffice to say, but TKO is public enemy number one
Yeah,
in the pro wrestling world as we speak.
I agree.
So my beef is with TKO. You know, it is what it is. I can't control it. I don't have stock in TKO. I used to have stock in WWE back in the day, but that's all for another thing. I just want to watch pro wrestling.
Yeah,
So I'm going to enjoy other pro wrestling that is offered out there, from TNA to
yeah,
AEW, like AAA. I know, well, they're TKO owned. But if you don't like what you're seeing on WWE or anything, well, one, don't watch it.
yeah,
But two, if you truly love pro wrestling, like I do, and like Madison here is evolving into, watch other
yeah,
promotions.
yeah,
Give them a look. Go to your Lubbock, Texas, as we're recording this, has several pro wrestling organizations. They do once a month. Go watch some shows there. I have. They put on great shows over at Jake's, over at little places around here. Go enjoy that.
yeah.
I know it's is it frustrating being a wrestling fan? Yes. Do we always like
But it's
booking
frustrating
decisions?
being a fan of anything
Anything, yes.
because it's never going to go 100% the way you think it should
Yeah.
go all the time. It's the same with watching, any sort of sports
Yeah.
team that you like. I mean, if your sports team won the Super Bowls every single year, you would just be a fan because of that.
Yeah.
But it's that, and it's like in TV shows. Like if you don't like that this person died on the show or this person married this person, like you're never going to like 100% of what goes on.
No.
But that's the point of it, because that's also what life is. You're not going to 100% agree and like what you go through in life all the time.
Yes.
Hence why people look at WWE and sports teams and sitcoms and things like that as an outlet, as an
Exactly.
escape from that. But it's always going to be a constant reminder that in this life, it's not always going to go how you plan. And so if you don't like it, change it.
Couldn't have said it better
So
myself. So
if you don't like WWE, watch something else right now.
watch something else. So with that being said, obviously I'm gonna venture out of the WWE for a bit. I'm still gonna continue to watch SmackDown and Raw, especially SmackDown. That's tomorrow night.
Yep.
But maybe we'll, Madison, maybe she'll start watching some TNA, maybe some
I'll
AEW
definitely watch
wrestling.
AEW now since
AEW.
it's on, since I
Yeah.
know where it's at now.
I think you'll
And
like
I'd
AEW.
like to watch the Mask versus Mask on AAA too. I'd
Yeah.
like to take a venture and go look at that just so I can see more of it, because even when I watched volleyball, I didn't just watch, places around here and stuff like that. I watched international matches. I watched only, men's leagues sometimes.
Yeah.
I watched beach volleyball. Like I went and watched all of it because I love that sport. So I wanted to watch anything I could of it. So I don't mind trying to do the same thing with wrestling, and
Perfect.
you guys should too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is, like we said, we're going to be doing little mini series like this that it's going to be called Wellness and Wrestling. And so we're going to talk about wrestling, kind of what we think and our thoughts. And so we'll probably do another one probably when Clash of Italy is done.
Yeah, give or take in the next
Or
few
what's
weeks.
before? Saturday
Night's main event.
Isn't that
Yeah,
before?
that's before. That's coming up here May 23rd. So I think
That's right.
next week. So
Okay, so
we'll probably do a video on that.
we'll do a video, yeah, after that, because I know already we've got Penta and Ethan Page going up on that one.
Yeah.
That's already a match. And then I think there's another one, but
Street Profits against the Vision.
thank you.
So
Okay, so we've already got those two books. So yeah, so we'll definitely kind of do a recap and see how that unfolds. But you guys, thank you for tuning in, and y'all have a great whatever day it is for you that you're watching this, and go enjoy some wrestling.
Yeah, thanks for all the new subscribers. Continue to subscribe. Adios.